Hey folks, Temple here, and welcome to another review. Today we're reviewing Dragon Ball Z Fighters. Now, did this live up to the hype, or was it another disappointment like Marvel vs. Capcom? Let's get to it. So let's start off with the gameplay. The gameplay to me, it's alright. It's kind of, fast-paced and furious, and you really have to be on the ball at many times when you're playing multiplayer at least, but it is a decent, fun game. Now, as far as, the graphics go, I mean, come on guys, what can you say? They look beautifully animated. I mean, this is from Arc System, the people that made, the Guilty Gear series. And if you've played the Guilty Gear series, you kind of recognize the whole style and the way they do things. I mean, to be honest with you, it's just like Guilty Gear, but, well sped up. Now, the one good thing about it as well is it is very, versatile. You can make, good teams. You have more versatility when it comes to, your team selection and your color base. So I kind of like that. Also, the one other good thing is, and this is my top, thumbs up thing, is that all the characters are not locked behind paywalls. Yes, there were bonus stuff that you get if you pre-ordered, but you're not penalized. If you get the game normally, you can still get them, but you'll have to grind for a little bit. Whether it being through buying through Zenny, or through, arcade, or even through the story mode, you'll eventually get them. It will take time, but you will get them. Now, I say this is the best thing, most Dragon Ball Z Fighters did and Arc System did. I mean, this should send the message to all other, fighting games. This should be the mantra. I know Street Fighter V had a thing where, if you got fight coins, you would get the characters, but that was only if you play multiplayer, and the story missions, which, to be honest, they didn't give you much. So Arc System, to me, is setting the benchmark for most fighting games. Now, onto the main screen, where, like the main area, where, the main menu, I kind of like it because it links up the story, arcade, and, multiplayer. But I do have one gripe with it, and that is, trying to find into a lobby. If you can't find a lobby, it is a pain in the ass to find. So I do think Arc System need to make an offline mode, so for those who don't want to go online, can just go to the arcade or the story mode, they can just go straight to, an offline mode. But there's another thing I gotta give trumps with, and that is the training system. The training system is pretty good. It does teach you all about the combos, what to do, and all that. Now I know there's auto combos, and people would say, well, it's an easier way, but they've got to do it. They've got to get the casuals in to give them an easier time. But here's the thing: a more experienced player can easily deflect those with a good heavy punch. So in other words, yeah, if you spam them out, you will get caught. So yeah, that's another thing. But I believe it's pièce de résistance. The best part about the game is the story mode. I mean, it's over nearly 12 to 20 hours long, depending on how much you want to be a completionist. But one good thing about the story mode is it is like a proper Dragon Ball Z episode. I mean, okay, there were some areas that had some padding and some grind fests against those like clones. But when you get down to it, it was a good story mode. And to me, this sets the benchmark for all other fighting games. I mean, before this game, I thought Mortal Kombat X had the best story arc. But after this, I'm gonna be honest, I feel that, Dragon Ball Z Fighters and Arc System nailed the story arc. And I believe this is the benchmark that all fighting games should follow. And also, speaking of other fighting games, as many of you know, I did say, Marvel vs. Capcom was disappointment. And to be honest, when you look at this game compared to Marvel vs. Capcom, it just blows it out the water. I mean, this is the level Capcom should be striving for, not what they've done. So yeah, great job, Arc System. You've hit a gem on this one, and this is a good nod to the fans as well as casuals who've never seen Dragon Ball, probably heard of it, will probably end up playing this and might end up watching the anime or read the manga. But there's also one thing I do have a gripe. It's not a major gripe, but it is a gripe nonetheless. The amount of Saiyans and the roster. Now, the 24-man roster is not a bad thing. In fact, I applaud it because it opens up to bring in more new characters as, things progress down the line. However, I do feel that the roster itself is too full of Saiyans. And I will state this in my, Let's Fight videos, because I did say in one of my 5 videos that, I'm sick of seeing Saiyan teams. I mean, let's look at the amount of Saiyans there is. There's Gotenks, Goku, Vegeta, Blue Goku, Trunks, Goku Black. I mean, the amount of Saiyans is a bit ridiculous. I felt that they should have at least... Oh yeah, and Gohan as well. Teen and Adult Gohan, I forgot about those two. Every team forget poor Gohan. In my honest opinion, I felt the Creators Assembly did miss a chance of bringing in, obscure characters you know, from the Movieverse or from, you know, further into Super. I feel like they missed the opportunity to bring them in, because I feel like there's a little bit too much Saiyans in this game. And also another gripe I've got is, you know, the multiplayer. If your, you know, internet is not great, you are going to struggle greatly, because I have had matches where matches will end up one-sided as hell and I just dominated, or my internet goes a little bit funny and then I get absolutely owned. This is one you're gonna have to really have great connection with your opponent. And also you've got to be wary of the frame rate issue, because sometimes the frame rates will slow down and you might suffer it when you put an input on, and you know, when you're trying to do an attack, it doesn't happen because, you know, the frame rate is a little slower. So you have to be very more strategic and think how, you know, this will affect you. But in all, Dragon Ball Z Fighters, in my view, has been, if not the best fighting game so far in the past, well, I believe in the past 5 years. I mean, don't get me wrong, Mortal Kombat X was great. It was actually the best Mortal Kombat X. But in terms of enjoyment and a good game playing experience, I feel that Dragon Ball Z Fighters has been the best in over, like, I think over the past 5 years, because after, you know, Mortal Kombat X and Street Fighter 4, there wasn't many great fighting games, but this one tended to, well, surprise me, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And to be honest, yeah, I think this is a potential 2018 game of the contender. I know it's only January, but there's already, in this month alone, we've already got now 2 who are up for contention for Game of the Year, in my view, as well as Best Fighting Game of the Year, in my honest opinion, because, to be honest, this game has been fun, enjoyable. I mean, I'll give this a 4 out of 5. It is a very good game. I do recommend, if you like your anime, you like a good beat 'em up, I do recommend, you know, getting this game. And if you were disappointed by the Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite game, then do not worry. This game does, you know, fill the void that's needed, and it shows how it's supposed to be done. Alright folks, that's the end of this review, and if you liked the video, please like, share, and subscribe, ring the bell, you know the drill. I'll catch you later. Peace.